Yes guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, something brand spanking new for you. We're going to have a little few minute discussion on chairman attributes. Now, I think everyone's got a different perspective of this. Some people might be oblivious to it, and some people might not even have the option to even see it. As opposed to the vanilla version of Championship Manager, like when you first purchased it, the CD, you couldn't see your chairman's attributes. As time's gone on, you know, and we've had patches and so on and so forth, you can now see your chairman's attributes. So a bit like what you can with your manager, really. So as a manager, you can see. But I think I've done a video on that before about managerial attributes, but fuck all that shit for a minute. We're here to talk about chairman attributes. So what we'll do is we'll just start. This is the most recent update, October 2024, and the most recent Nix Patcher version 2.30. Stan, is it Kroink, 77 years of age. So it's as accurate as it could be in respect of date of birth. So he is 77 in real life. So you've got here, you've got 7 attributes. Now I'll go through them in a second, but my honest opinion is I don't think it's sophisticated enough to really be incorporated into the game. But I could be wrong on that. I'm not the expert on how realistic it is. I think it's just here for show. But then, you know what? It wasn't even here for show before, so maybe it is. So he's got 7 attributes. His business acumen, 15. And now I thought that was out of 20. Clearly it's not, and you can see because manhandling is 21. But it's got a little statement for each attribute. So business acumen, 15. Competent businessman, and he will increase the club income slightly. So sort of other businesses, sponsorships, that sort of shit. But let's face it, on Championship Manager, we don't see anything of that, do we? I mean, how many of us really look at our income expenditure, particularly as a big club? We don't. I don't feel we do. Discipline, 8. Average. No particular views on club disciplinary procedures. So, have you seen it before when you appeal a ban and... No, sorry, let me put it a different way. No, not the ban. Let's put it another way. So when a player has fueled a move, you slam the player, you deny it, and the chairman tends to back you, or he don't. That's what I think the discipline comes in. Interference, quite reserved, will only sometimes interfere in transfer decisions. Now that on the update is obsolete because there's a patch that I have implemented which is naturally implemented on the latest Nix Patcher, board interference. This stops the board interfering in deals. So, you know, and that proves really that it's irrelevant what that is, because if that patch isn't applied, they will intervene. If you buy a player for a value player of a couple of $100,000 and you pay over 11 million on the ODB, they will cancel it. They'll say it's unrealistic. Manhandling, 21. Good personal skills, very unlikely to upset players. You don't really ever see players disliking the chairman. I don't think I've seen it once. They dislike the manager, the assistant manager, various other players. So if you've got Anelka, for example, thinks Anelka's a disruptive influence, blah, 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 blah. You don't really see it with the chairman. So maybe I'm wrong on that. Patience, very patient, very unlikely to rashly sack a manager. So I guess the higher the patience is, the better. If he's got a patience of 1, then he expects... I mean, again, you know, has anybody got any experience here of getting a sacking undeservedly? Who knows? Resources, rich, able to invest cash in the club. So he's got a good wealth, and he will. Now, I'm going to put something to the test in a moment on this, because I'm going to go look at Huddersfield. When I did some testing with Neil, a guy called Neil from the forums, he often started a game as Huddersfield, and quite often they would do an injection, a cash injection. The same with Inverness Caledonian Thistle. So we're going to check those two in a minute. Ambition, 13. He's ambitious and he would like to see the club succeed at the highest level. Surely every fucking chairman should want that. Let's be fucking honest. So before we go to those two that I want to see, let's just look at Chelsea and Man City. I think we need to really look at that. See, now that's interesting. Patience 5. Impatient, expects instant results from his staff. So it's interesting to see if Chelsea don't start doing it. So, you know, this could be effective for all I know. I don't really pay too much attention to it, but it is definitely worth. Look, resources. Would they do cash injections if they went down on money? I mean, they start with a few quid anyway. It'd be interesting. Be very, very interesting. Let's just check Man City as well. It's going to be the Emirati, yep. Patience, he's not got much patience either. Okay, so now let's just have a look at Huddersfield. Because I understand Huddersfield, they tend to, but we'll get a rough idea here. I know, right, he's got some good attributes, hasn't he? So, Rich able to invest, we knew that. Let's say 14, he's able to invest. I like that. Discipline 16. He's harsh disciplinarian. He's a harsh bastard and is intolerant of prima donnas. So maybe when a player is feeling moves, it's up to you as a manager to slam that player, and he will more than likely back you. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm intrigued about that. That don't really help us though, does it? Let's just let's have a look at Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Because it's on a minimum database, insecure. Okay, we can't do it. We can't check that. So let me know your views on that, guys. I'm intrigued to know people's perspectives, and if they've got any history, if they've got any views. Some people might just think it's all a fucking myth. I think my brother, we've had this conversation about things like this and training. He goes, I don't think the game is not sophisticated enough to inject that. I'm not sure. I think he's stuck in a time warp with vanilla, to be honest with you. So from a patch point of view, I think he's probably wrong. As time's developed, you look at Chelsea there, and I think I've seen Chelsea manager get sacked a few times on this when I've done tests. So maybe there is quite an element of truth in it. So who knows? Till next time from me, guys, take it easy.